Jeff, and we're going to talk about some rope climbs now. This lovely, terrible device. Yeah, great fun. All right, so 2 ways to climb the rope, right? Couple things though about the rope climb. Everybody knows long socks better, right? You don't want to scratch up your legs, your shins, your lower leg, all that kind of stuff. No rope burns. It's super painful. It's horrible. I got one yesterday. I'd show you, but it's all right. You see that? All right, so the basic way, right? The way you want to start with some beginner athletes, right, is what we call the S hooks. Making sure, right, whichever the dominant leg of the athlete is. In this case, Jeff likes to use his right foot. Okay, so his right leg. So he's going to wrap his right leg all the way around the rope until the rope is pressed up against the inside of his shoe. Okay, so he's got it wrapped all the way around. Now he's going to take his left foot, press down on the rope, right? And now if his hands were to let go, right, he could still be hanging on the rope. So that's very important, making sure that the athlete is secure on the rope, right? We don't want any accidents, right? We got the pads, right? But making sure that the athlete can support themselves even if their hands weren't on the rope. Okay? So now, right, he's wrapped, he's tight, he's going to drag his feet up, kind of like a knees to elbow. He brings his knees to his elbows, drags his feet up, repositions, clamps down, and stands, right? But we don't want the brunt of the load staying in the arms, right? Kind of like a caterpillar crawling up something, okay? So he drags his feet up, brings his knees to his elbows, right, stands, and now he makes himself long, and that gets him up the rope. Okay, so that's way number 1. Very basic way, however, a little inefficient, right? It takes a while to kind of shimmy the rope down to your foot, especially if you don't have these lovely heavy ropes like we do. We're lucky. All right, but if you've got just kind of like a homemade rope, something like that, a little bit, if it's not a heavy rope, it takes a little bit longer to shimmy down the foot. So, the second way, more efficient, doesn't matter what kind of rope you have, but it's tougher for the athlete, especially if you have a not seasoned athlete, somebody who hasn't been CrossFit for a while. I've never done rope climbs before in their life. I don't recommend using this, but for somebody who's been there a little bit longer, a little more comfortable with supporting load, right, in their arms with pull-ups, stuff like that, you can definitely go this out here. So we call this the J grip, right? So now Jeff is going to the same thing. He's going to use whichever his dominant foot is, and he's going to put it on the outside of the rope. All right. However, he's only going to wrap it about halfway. So now the outside of his foot is going to be pressed up against the rope. The outside of his foot is pressed against the rope. His other foot is going to sweep under it, creating like a J. He's going to pinch the rope, right? And again, if Jeff were to let go of his hands, right, he can support his weight. So he's got this nice pinch to it, all right? He's pinching the rope in between his feet. Now his feet come off way easier. He repositions, right? Regrips, stand, makes himself long, and stand. So it's a little bit easier for the athlete to get their feet moving in this position, right? So a little more efficient. However, since the feet have to come off the rope, a lot of the load is in the arms for a while. So it's got to be a quick transition. You don't want to stay hanging on just arms too long, right? That's gonna tighten those up. It's gonna tax the arms, especially in a workout with rope climbs or anything else that has some kind of demand on your upper extremities. It's gonna be a little tougher, right? So make sure that the athlete understands that they've got to get their feet back to the rope quick, right? To get going up there, you don't want to be holding on for dear life at all, right? That's rope climb.